The Machiavellian Woman versus the Biblical Helpmate. A critique of the modern female influence on men. In an age of confusion regarding gender roles, relationships, and marriage, men are increasingly disillusioned by women who seem to no longer uplift them, but undermine their purpose. The biblical framework for womanhood, as defined in Proverbs 31 and elsewhere, presents the woman as a helpmate, one who supports, nurtures, and honors her husband. In stark contrast, the modern secular model, influenced by radical feminism, social media, and cultural Marxism, often promotes an adversarial or competitive relationship between men and women. This essay brings together the biblical wisdom of Proverbs and Psalms with the cold realism of Niccolo Machiavelli, whose The Prince and Discourses on Livy offer timeless truths about human nature, including women. By juxtaposing Machiavellian teachings with biblical truths and adding certified insights from philosophers, theologians, and psychologists, this critique seeks to answer, what does a man need to know about women? What does a woman need to become to be a true helpmate, rather than a source of destruction? The biblical model of womanhood, strength in submission. Proverbs 31. The virtuous woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Proverbs 31:10, KJV. The virtuous woman in Proverbs is not weak, passive, or ignorant. She is industrious, she considereth a field and buyeth it. Verse 16. Wise, she openeth her mouth with wisdom. Verse 26. And kind. But most importantly, she respects and uplifts her husband. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Proverbs 31, verse 11-12. This woman is strong in character, not in rebellion. She does not compete with her husband for dominance. She complements him. Psalm 128 and the fruitful wife. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house, thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Psalm 128:3. The Bible describes a blessed home as one where the wife is fruitful, not just in childbirth, but in spiritual and emotional support. She provides stability, love, and reverence, cornerstones of biblical femininity. Machiavelli on women, realism over romance. Machiavelli did not write extensively about women in the way the Bible does, but what he did write, although cold and unsentimental, serves as a stark warning for men. Fortune is a woman in The Prince. Machiavelli compares Fortuna, fortune, to a woman. Fortune is a woman, and if you wish to master her, you must strike and beat her down. Machiavelli, The Prince. Chapter 25. While this statement is jarring, the metaphor reveals something deep. Fortune, like many women, favors the bold, decisive, and dominant. A man who is passive or effeminate will not earn respect, from women or from life itself. Women are fickle by nature. It is a common failing of man not to take account of stormy weather during fair weather. Discourses on Livy translated into relationships. This means that men who ignore the realities of female nature, emotional volatility, shifting desires, and attraction to strength, do so at their own peril. Machiavelli, like the Apostle Paul in Ephesians 5, verse 23, reinforces that a man must lead. Otherwise, a woman will fill the power vacuum, and respect will be lost. Modern womanhood, from helpmate to hindrance. The rise of feminist individualism. Today's woman is told that she must have it all, pursue personal ambitions above all else, and never submit to any man. This ideology, rooted in the third and fourth waves of feminism, has shifted the woman's role from nurturer to rival. Modern women are often encouraged to view submission as oppression, treat relationships as transactional, embrace hypergamy, seeking men of ever higher status, shame traditional femininity. Dr. Jordan Peterson, clinical psychologist and professor of psychology, observes, women deeply want men who are competent and powerful, and I don't mean power, in that they can exert tyrannical control over others. That's not power, that's just corruption. Power is competence. Dr. Jordan Peterson. Yet modern culture encourages women to resent such men rather than admire and support them. The negative woman, a danger to her husband's soul. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. Proverbs 21, verse 19. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. Proverbs 9, verse 13. A woman who is contentious, argumentative, or rebellious breaks down a man's spirit. These verses highlight that a woman has the power to destroy a man's mission if her spirit is not aligned with God's order. Instruction for men. Know her nature. Don't be naive. Machiavelli teaches us that idealism in politics or relationships leads to destruction. Likewise, a man must not marry a woman because of mere attraction or charm. Men ought either to be well treated or crushed. The prince, in the context of women, this teaches men to not tolerate emotional manipulation. A man must set the tone in his household, lovingly but firmly. The Apostle Paul. Men must lead in love. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. Ephesians 5, verse 23. Leadership does not mean tyranny. Christ leads the church with sacrificial love, and the biblical man leads his wife the same way. But if the man does not lead, she will step into that role, and both will suffer. Instruction for women. Be the crown, not the corruption. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. Proverbs 12, verse 4. This is perhaps the most Machiavellian proverb in all of Scripture. It states that a woman can either honor a man or destroy him from the inside out. Modern women, in seeking independence, often forget this sacred influence. What a woman must do. Submit to God before submitting to man. Reject worldly feminism and embrace godly wisdom. Encourage, not emasculate. Uplift, not compete. Theologian Elizabeth Elliot once said, "The fact that I am a woman does not make me a different kind of Christian, but the fact that I am a Christian does make me a different kind of woman." Return to order, reject the chaos. The union between man and woman is meant to be a symphony, not a battlefield. The Bible calls for unity through order, where man leads and woman supports, where love and reverence coexist. Machiavelli, though secular and cold in tone, confirms that power dynamics are inevitable. A man must not be passive, and a woman must not be rebellious. If both know their place, before God and in each other's lives, the result is peace, legacy, and joy. But if they reject their design, division, dysfunction, and destruction. Final thoughts. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Proverbs 9, verse 10. Let every woman ask herself, am I building or breaking? Let every man ask himself, am I leading or languishing? Only by returning to God's design can the modern man and woman find peace, not just with each other, but within themselves.